This is for a lot of Jews who are into being vegetarians or being vegans even. I was one of these people when I first started on my path of returning to an Orthodox lifestyle. Not returning, but beginning. I became a vegan. I was a vegan for 8 months. Very challenging lifestyle. Challenging in that it's hard to find good sources of protein. It's hard to find variation in diet. It's people are eating meat and the smell of meat is like, it's very hard to. But anyway, my father was strictly opposed to this. And at one point, he looked at me and he said, "Do you know the laws of Nazir?" He wasn't a religious man, but he knew the Torah. In Israel, he was a teenager. He moved to Israel, but he had some kind of learning of Torah. His mother came from a family rabbi. She learned with him. So I said, "Yeah, I know this." She says, "What does a Nazir do when his vow of Naziris is over?" He says, "Brings a korban. He brings an offering." He says, "Why does he bring an offering?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know what I said. I'm making it better now because he gave me all the answers." But he basically said, I knew there were two opinions. He said, "The one opinion I want you to focus on is that he gives an offering because he is abstained from the physical world." One of the three things a Nazir can't do, generally speaking, an oath of Naziris is wine, haircuts, and mourning. So he's abstained from wine, let's say. Because he's abstained from wine and God does not prohibit wine, he has to bring a korban to show that he has taken on this extra stringency that God himself didn't command him to take on. We're in this world to enjoy, my father told me. And by you becoming a vegan and you not eating fish and meat and eggs like regular people, you're making Judaism something it's not. You're adding to the Torah, and this is something which is a very serious transgression. This came to my mind because of the smoking thing of not smoking cigarettes or tobacco, let's say. The Torah was given completely, and God wants us to enjoy our stay on planet Earth as much as humanly possible within the guidelines of the Torah. The Torah is not a Torah. Yes, there are more prohibitions than commandments, 365 to 248. But the prohibitions that are there by God, and anything that a human chooses to add, in the end he'll find he's detracting from the beauty of the Torah. The Torah is a Torah. The only reason the Torah was given was to maximize our happiness on planet Earth, and it was given with all the prohibitions firmly intact, clearly elucidated in the Gemara, in Shulchan Aruch, and in later commentaries. There is no need for mankind to come and say, "I'm going to add to the Torah what I cannot do in this world." And in this realm, you have to understand with vegetarianism and veganism. Now, I want to say that Rambam, in terms of being an environmentalist, says you cannot waste a single grain of mustard in this planet because it comes from God. And everyone knows who looks at the facts honestly how much more land, how much more resources it takes to raise cattle than it does to raise grains and wheats and legumes, let's say. But notwithstanding that fact, I eat meat only on the Sabbath. I don't like eating meat. I'm not comfortable because I myself could never kill an animal. I don't feel like I should assign an emissary to kill an animal and I'll eat the meat. I think it's a cop-out. And even on the Sabbath, I only eat it because it says in the Torah that you should enjoy the Sabbath with meat. However, and I think Americans consume way too much meat. It's not healthy for the environment. It's not healthy for them. And you see they're dying early, unfortunately. You know, the average lifespan we should all be measuring is 120. And it's a joke. People are 76, 70, that's a good life. No, it's not supposed to be a good life according to what the Torah says it's a good life. Anyway, my point is, if you're going to be a vegetarian or vegan, don't do it because you think you're being holy by abstaining from animals and animal products. God made us on the sixth day of creation after all the animals, and he still told us in the animals' presence, as it were, you are to rule over the animals. And this is something that's an eternal command, and part of ruling it, and by the way, in the Garden of Eden, they were vegans. They were not allowed to enjoy animal products. It was only in the ark something happened. God said to Noah in the days of Noah, I see now that you have this desire, this passion to eat meat, so I will permit it to you. Once God says that, for a human to outthink God on the basis of I'm going to deny my nature, that Ramban says never to deny your nature as a human being, you're adding to the Torah. Now Rav Kook was a vegetarian, and he had his makar, and he had his source for it. Okay, and if you don't enjoy eating meat, it's people tell me it's not really a mitzvah if you don't enjoy it. But I'm a literalist when it comes to reading Shulchan Aruch. Just to enjoy meat, I'm not going to fight. I do enjoy it. I just don't feel consciously right about it. So I enjoy it physically, whereas intellectually I'm divorced of any kind of enjoyment. However, I'm open to conversation. I love vegans. I love vegetarians. These are people who are thinking people. It takes discipline. It takes self-restraint. But don't tell me it's a holy endeavor that God himself is proud of. Because God himself tells us. God himself has us sacrificing animals in the Beis Hamikdash hopefully soon. And then the Kohanim and the Leviim and the people who bring the korban get to eat this flesh. So if that's part of the religion, it's there for a reason. And Baruch Hashem, that we can enjoy the flesh of animals. and the whatever the mussels, whatever we eat from the animal. Thank you so much, and God bless.